Hello, everybody. My name is Sam from Cookin Reviews,
And I am Joe Matrix,
or Peyton.
whatever you want to call me.
Yep. Welcome back to the second episode of the Cookn Matrix podcast. It has been far too long since the last episode.
It has been months. We've been delayed a little bit,
Yes,
as you can tell.
due to personal and work-related things, we'll call it that. The second episode has been delayed, but we're now here bringing you the first real episode of the Cookn Matrix podcast. Yep. Our last episode was mainly an introduction, but this week we're actually reviewing something. Peyton, what are we reviewing?
Today we are reviewing Nacho Libre, one of the best comedies out there. Debatable, but
That's our opinion.
yes. What do you
Yes.
think of the Nacho Libre, Sam?
I think it is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated comedies ever.
That's quite an accusation, or assumption, however you word that.
It's my opinion, and I'm standing by it.
Respectable. So, what is the Nacho Libre movie about, Sam?
Well, Nacho Libre is about a cook who lives in a orphanage slash monastery, played by Jack Black, who has dreams of becoming a luchador. And, together with his partner, Steven, they will try to rise up the ranks of the luchador wrestling ring. Will Nacho win money to buy the orphans a bus and get a girl in the end who is also a nun?
And out of his league?
Yes. That last part probably sounded very weird, but you understand if you've seen this movie.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's the basic plot summary of Nacho Libre. We won't go into spoilers here, but that's
Yeah,
pretty much all you need to know.
Or at least we'll try not to go into spoilers too much.
Yes, if we do a spoiler, I'll put a warning somewhere on screen. Like maybe
Sam's
there.
spoilers.
There probably wasn't anything on there because we hadn't spoiled anything yet.
Yeah. Maybe give him an idea.
Like what? Like maybe the fact that Nacho dies? That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. It really
But you know
doesn't.
what does happen?
What happened, Sam?
The girl dies.
I had to do it.
Of course, we're joking. But, again, no spoilers yet.
Yeah,
Now
we're
let's
not,
talk about the characters.
we start off with Nacho. He is a man
Yes.
who is simply seeking to get respect.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out into the world and gets his chip stolen. He gets beaten down. He gets talked down by the priest. But there's a chance. There's an event where he
And
can
he
win
takes
200
it.
pesos with Steven.
Mm-hmm. Nacho is played by Jack Black, if you hadn't figured that out yet. And
Hilarious, man.
Nacho being the title character of the movie gets the most development, and presumptuously, or I don't know exactly what you'd say here, but he is, in my opinion, the best character in the movie.
I, too, have that same opinion.
I mean, again, he is the title character, so of course the film spends a lot of time trying to tell his story, what little there is to tell.
I mean, it's essentially a story about how he just keeps wrestling to make money. After he does the one event, he just keeps doing the events. He keeps losing, but they keep giving him money because people enjoy watching him.
Yes. And this is something that me and Peyton will go into detail, more detail about later. But that's almost the biggest problem with this movie. It's almost too simplistic. Like, what Peyton just said about Nacho, that's his character. What we mentioned in the story summary, that's his character. He's a cook who lives in an orphanage, and he wants to be a luchador.
Not really much to it when you think about it.
No. I mean, there's slight discussions of religion if you want to dig real deep, but they're
especially when he's with Steven. But
yes,
other than that,
yeah. But besides Nacho, there's also Steven.
who we just mentioned. But Steven
Yes,
is a wee lad who's starving, I think. In my opinion, he
he's
is.
like a homeless guy, and the first time him and Nacho meet, Steven beats him up by shoving Nacho's face into a bag of chips.
I wouldn't really call that beat up.
I mean,
But
he certainly
he
didn't
certainly
lose the
didn't.
fight.
Yeah, he didn't lose. I was about to say Nacho didn't win the fight. That's for certain.
No, he didn't win. He got like wrecked by Steven.
You know you've lost when you get your face slammed into a bag of chips. That's for certain.
Not sure that happens to a lot of people, but if it does, it's probably not a winning scenario.
Just take a bag of Fritos and shove it up against your head. You've lost. Already.
Probably.
It's over.
Character traits of Steven?
He's the friend. He's kind of the comic relief.
Sort of.
Even though, in truth, it's a
every
comedy
character.
movie.
Yes,
So,
every character is a comic relief.
I don't know, but he has very memeable moments.
Yes. Like the I hate the orphans.
And the get that corn out of my face.
Yeah, although that I almost feel like that was more Jack Black than Steven.
True. But still, corn.
Yes.
So you need no corn.
Is
What
there
other
anything
characters we
else?
got?
I was about to say, before we move on, is there really anything else we can say about Steven?
I mean, he's the other wrestler. He's
He
the
gets his hair
right
pulled
hand
out
man.
in every match.
Is it every match?
Almost every match.
I think it was the first 3 matches he got his hair pulled out, which would be very rough
Yeah.
for anybody.
They did bet his hair. Do you not remember that part?
I just watched the movie recently so that I'd be fresh enough for the podcast, and I do not remember that part.
It's like in their first wrestling match when he's talking to like the referee, and the referee says something in Spanish, so I don't know what he says, and then Nacho says, his hair. We bet his hair.
That's what he says? I could never make out what he says.
I think that's what he says.
I thought he was talking in Spanish when he said that part. I couldn't really understand him.
Side tangent. You should probably watch this movie with subtitles. It might help in certain cases.
Maybe. But most of it is in English.
Yes,
98% of it.
roughly. Let's see. Next character?
How about Encarnacion?
Yes, the lady that Nacho is attracted to. Like
Go ahead.
Like I mentioned before, she's a nun.
And she's a whammon.
Yeah,
And she's there.
pretty
For what
much.
reason? To be there.
Mm-hmm.
She moved in from the lady sisters in Guatemala?
Guadalupe?
Question mark?
I don't know. We don't remember every detail in this movie, guys. We just
I
remember
mean, we're
enough
just
to talk
going
about
off
it.
of things. I mean,
We just
we're-
remember enough to talk about it. Right, Peyton?
yeah. Well, I did watch it recently, but
Again, that brings up... We're going to mention this probably several more times throughout the video.
mhm.
Besides Nacho, there isn't really a whole lot of character to the character.
Development. She's just there for I guess, love interest.
Yes,
Girl,
pretty
that's
much.
really it. That's really about it.
And the next character I feel like has more like development or growth than
Throughout
Steven
the
and Encarnacion. And that's Chancho.
Yeah, Chancho goes from being the big kid who's helping Nacho to the big kid who supports Nacho and keeps his
Yeah.
secrets.
Again, it's not really that much character development, but he has like moments, it shows that him and Nacho are friends and that like they respect each other.
They do really respect each other when you think
Yeah,
about it.
I mean, when they're in the town and they see Ramses and the other kid's like, he's the best, Chancho's like, no, he's not, but then they like give each other the subtle nod that we're still keeping the secret.
And in a way, Chancho respects Nacho. Right after he gets done with his wrestling match, he goes off and he puts on a wrestling suit and he starts wrestling in the monastery.
Yes, which,
Sort of wants to be like Nacho.
yes. Don't do that in real life. You'll probably get arrested.
Unless you're kids. Kids get a pass.
Yeah,
Even
like
then,
they did in this movie.
Not recommended, though.
Yeah,
Might be broken.
maybe.
Who can say?
Yeah. Peyton, you want to move on to the final character?
Well, the final character is in the final main character that gets talked about a lot. Ramses.
Yes.
I don't think he even says anything in this movie.
Ramses says certain things in English, and he grunts.
That's about it.
Yeah.
He's just sort of a guy Nacho looks up to, and then eventually throughout the movie, it's seen more and more that he's not the man he was. He turns
No.
out to be this piece of trash.
Yeah, I mean, literally, the most memorable part about Ramses is his match preparation.
And that's not even him talking, it's his coach. Or
Yeah. Support figure?
dad?
Maybe?
Who can say?
What is Ramses' lineage? These are the questions that we need to have answered.
We need lore,
The
Nickelodeon.
Nacho Libre lore, my dude.
We need a comic book or something. A book.
Maybe
Anything.
that's taking it too far.
That's lore. And I think that's mainly it for characters.
Yeah, I mean, there are other characters, but the 5 we've just mentioned pretty much get the most screen time.
Yeah, the other ones, I mean, there is the priest that he talks to that tries to also go after Encarnacion. There's some of the other wrestlers, which are honestly probably the most memorable ones.
Yes,
The
just
little
because of
demons
their
and stuff.
outfits and the way the wrestling matches go.
And the fact, the way that Nacho loses to them,
Mm-hmm.
it makes them pretty memorable, but not exactly. They don't really get any development. They're just there for plot's
No.
sake.
It's not really worth discussing.
There is that other little kid besides Chancho.
Yeah, but
I don't even
again,
know his name.
he gets less screen time than Chancho.
He does cry because he didn't get to eat salad. He's just eating dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, Nacho.
Now that we've talked about the characters, let's move on to our favorite moments or scenes in the movie. Peyton, I'll let you mention your moments first.
Favorite moment in the movie? I think it might be after he gets the ego powers and then he does the dance. And he tries to power up and then after the match
Like
he just
wrecked.
says, yeah, he gets wrecked and then after the match he said, those eggs were a lie, Steven. A lie! They have no eagle powers! I have a horrible Mexican accent.
Yes, forgive our rolling of R's.
I'm very much not from there.
No. Any other favorite moments? Or just like moments you want to talk about?
Well, get that corn out of my face.
Yes. Nacho does have the "get the corn out of my face," which I think became like a fairly popular meme for a time.
It still kind of is, but I don't see it used much today in the meme world. But for a time, it was a very popular meme.
Yes. Because it's a very meme-worthy scene.
It's a very meme-worthy movie.
Yes. My favorite moment is when Nacho is taking Encarnacion, like, on a date, I guess?
Sort of.
Yeah, they're, like, going on the street, and he's convinced her that they're going to witness to this man and talk to him about the gospel. But in reality, he's trying to show her how manly he is and how he could win in a fight.
And Steven tries to plot this sort of thing where there's going to be people that come by, his friends,
Mm-hmm.
and going to try to beat him up, and then let Nacho win, make him look buff and manly.
And the funny thing that happens is these two guys come up, and Nacho is convinced that these two guys are the ones that Steven is talking about.
And then he just sort of trash talks them out in the middle of the street, takes off his shirt.
He specifically yells at them, and this might be my favorite line in the whole movie. Hey! Can't you see this woman is a nun?
That's actually
like, what an odd thing to yell in the street.
And he, right before then, he's just like, I don't like the way those men are looking at you.
He gets her super close to him, and is just like delicately whispering to her.
I don't like how they're looking at you.
Yes. And then he goes over, and these guys are like super weird. And he's like getting himself prepped up for the fight. He takes his shirt off. He's jumping around like a cat. But then
Steven comes up behind him, and in the blind sight, he gets punched in the face.
Yes. Steven brings the guys that Nacho was supposed to fight, and Nacho realizes he made a mistake and gets knocked out by one punch.
One punch!
Is that a thing? Oh, One Punch Anime.
I figured most people would get that, but not everybody would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an anime guy.
But
Turn
even you heard of the
if you are an
legendary.
anime guy.
And then if you want us to do anime episodes or shows
Maybe.
in future podcasts,
Maybe.
perhaps.
Maybe.
Indeed.
Back to Nacho. Oh, wait. What about a Nacho anime?
Possibility for a sequel? Nacho anime?
Unlikely.
Come on.
We'll get to that later. But
Alright. What have we got next, Sam? Do you think we need to talk about in the Nacho film?
I think we've already sort of hinted at it, but I think we should talk about our biggest dislike with the movie. And that's the fact that there's not a whole lot to it.
It is pretty basic. You just got this protagonist. He feels low. He works himself up, and then he goes back down again after he goes to a party and gets kicked out of the monastery, and then he comes back up to fight Ramses, the big villain, or I don't know if you want to call him villain. The big challenge of the story. Then at the end, he wins it all.
Yep, that's really about it. None of the characters really develop. I mean, you could argue that Nacho develops, but the most he develops is that he wins.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Nacho loses every match except the last one, which is arguably the one that counted.
Yes, but it's ironic that he even got to the final match because he didn't win a single one in the first place.
He just got second place in the one before that.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He slowly climbs up the ranks.
Yep. But that, again, goes back to the characters. You probably noticed, none of the characters we talked about develop.
They stay the same, except Steven's no longer homeless, I guess.
I guess. They never really make that clear.
And the orphans are happier.
Yes. But that's it.
I wonder if the priests are happier.
What?
I wonder if the priests are happier.
I don't know.
And how did Nacho get back after he went over there to the priesthood? Did he just say, I'm going to buy you a bus? And they're saying, oh, come back into the monastery.
Well, they didn't really show that part. That probably would have been boring.
Probably would have.
Yeah.
Oh, return Nacho, my son.
But maybe they could do it in the sequel.
Ha! 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 Ha!
You like that little
Sequel.
segue?
Do you think there could be a sequel, Sam?
No.
At all?
No. I mean, I know Nacho, or...
Jack Black.
Yes, I know Jack Black has said he would love to do a sequel. But I don't think there will be a sequel, and I don't think there should be a sequel.
It could be about his son.
Maybe, but at the same time, do you think it would be any good?
It would probably have the same plot as the last one.
Yes. Remember when Ace Ventura tried to do the whole kid plot?
They tried that?
Oh, Peyton, this is a future episode in the making.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I'll tell you about it later.
Wait, yeah, dude. I don't know why, but I was thinking of Napoleon Dynamite instead of Ace Ventura.
Funny you should mention that because I believe Napoleon Dynamite was directed by the same guy who directed Nacho Libre.
I can see the similarities.
Yes, from the little I've seen of Napoleon Dynamite, the comedy timing and styles are very similar.
Sort of awkward in a way,
Very awkward.
especially in that movie.
But what about you? Do you think there's any possibility of a sequel, or do you even want a sequel?
I think if it was up to Jack Black that we could see a sequel in the future. I don't think it'll be near as good as the first one if they did do one. Do I think there'll be a sequel? Probably not. But at the same time, there is a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he has openly said, I would like to do a Nacho Libre sequel, could give some people hope.
I guess.
So, we pretty much covered all there is to cover in this movie. So, Peyton, final thoughts.
Nacho Libre is a film for essentially every member of your family. It has some moments that are... Wait, what am I trying to say? It has a lot of memorable moments, and it's very memeable, and I would recommend that you watch it, because I think everybody can enjoy it.
Absolutely, I agree with what Peyton says. Nacho Libre is a great movie for the whole family, and I feel like you should at least give it the time of day and give it a single watch.
That's a worthy thing to say.
Yep. Even if some of the characters don't develop, they don't really need to. It's a
comedy movie.
It's a comedy movie, and at the end of the day, Nacho Libre still makes me laugh when I watch it. And that's all a comedy movie ever really needs to do.
Sort of Home Alone type movie. Except less awkward than Home Alone. But Home Alone makes you laugh to this day, does it not?
Yes. Although I haven't seen Home Alone in years.
Same here.
Christmas special? Subscribe and we might do it.
Yes, let us know in the comments and we might do it.
Yes.
Give us 10 likes, we probably will do it.
Give us a single like.
He really wants us to have about 2,000 likes or more, but I don't think we're going to get that high, at least not for a long, long time. But if we can give us 2,000 likes, that would be amazing.
What he just said. Anyways, Peyton, do you think it's about time to wrap it up?
It is about time because we've really gone over everything that there is to go over in Nacho Libre.
So summary, go watch Nacho Libre.
It is a good movie.
Yes. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this. Again, we're sorry it took so long. We'll try to get the next episode out sooner rather than later. But again, no promises. I start work very soon, and Peyton
I'm in
has
school.
Exactly. So.
We'll try to get one out when we can.
Exactly.
We'll definitely try to make it quicker than the last one, too.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the next episode, Peyton, do you have a sneak peek?
I do.
Cookn Matrix.
Subscribe so you'll be notified whenever the next episode comes out, and make sure to hit the bell.
Give us a like. Leave a comment in the comments below. Let us know what you think of the video.
Subscribe to Joe Matrix.
And Cookn Reviews.
Mm-hmm. And there's probably a link at the end of this video, which you can find
Down here.
or at the end of the video. Alright then. See you later, everyone.
Adios, amigos.